Hey everyone, thank you for stopping by. Today, I'll be teaching you how to do a double stitch on plastic canvas. So by the end of this video, you'll know how to do another common stitch for your plastic canvas projects. As always, if you're here to learn a new hobby or to expand your knowledge of the craft, great. But if you're just here to relax, that's great too. You've all come to the right place. So let's get started. Double stitches are quite common. They do cover a larger area of canvas faster than a single stitch does, and they also add a little bit of texture to your project as well. I do have an example of a bookmark that I did, and it does have a seamless border, which is another video, but it does have this one section here where I didn't have enough space for another set of squares. So I just put a double stitch in there. It's a little bit hard to see because it's made out of black yarn, but it's in there. So what you'll need, of course, is your 7 mesh plastic canvas. I've already cut out a square for this example, but they do come in those larger sheets, of course. You're going to need your size 16 tapestry needle. You will need your yarn. In this case, we've got this very bright red. And of course, you're going to need your scissors. So let's cut the yarn first, and then we'll go from there. Just cut off the amount that you'll need. And it'll be about right there. Make sure you leave enough of a tail on the yarn skein that you're able to find it later. So this looks like a good amount. So the way that my mom used to put the yarn into the needle, she used to wet it with her, she'd stick it in her mouth. And I'm just too much of a germaphobe for that. So I like to just fold the end over on itself, make this little nub. It's a really, really tight little point. And then you should be able to squeeze it into the hole that's on the needle. And then you can pull it through. There we go. Of course, if you are having trouble with it, you can always just get some water and wet it as well. And of course, just leave yourself a reasonable tail on the needle. You just don't want it to fall out. All right, so let's get started. I want to point out the stitch direction of this. We can either go bottom left to top right, or we can go from top right to bottom left. However, it will matter in terms of the quality of the stitch as well as what the back stitching looks like. So we're going to do it the right way, and then I'll show you the wrong way. Now the first part of a double stitch is actually going to be one single stitch. So let's do that one single stitch real quick. We're not going to start in the very corner. We're going to start one to the left of the very corner. Pull that through. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to leave ourselves about an inch of yarn on the back. I'll flip it over. So we're just going to leave about an inch here. And I'm going to be holding that flat against the back of the canvas with my middle finger. And as we do this stitch, we're just going to stitch over it. That way we don't have to cut off the tail at the end. Then we're going to go up one, to the right one. So a basic single stitch. That bright red really is pretty bright. Then, instead of going a single here, we're going to do it our first true double. So we're going to go in the back right here, pull it through. And then instead of going up one, right one, we're going to go up two, right two. And there we have it. Same thing. The next opening, the bottom left, up two, right two. One more, and then I'll show you the wrong way to do it. Maybe not the wrong way to do it, just the way that I prefer not to do it. Okay, so now we've got these larger stitches here, and if we just do this all the way across, we're going to have a row of double stitches. If we look on the back of the canvas, we'll see that we are in fact covering up that tail, and that the stitches on the back are slanted. We want it to be slanted because it gives us better coverage. So here's how not to do it. The correct way is bottom left to top right. But what if we did top right to bottom left? Well, let's go over here and let's do just that. We'll start with that single stitch. All right, now here's our top right, going to bottom left, top right to bottom left, and then one more, top right to bottom left. Looks kind of the same on the front, but here's the difference on the back. On the bottom, the back stitches are much more stretched out. With these, they're much more up and down. And that's going to affect the way that the stitches lay. It's kind of hard to tell, but it does matter. There's just a little bit better coverage, and the stitches are more thick on the bottom one. So again, with the nice part about plastic canvas is that if you just undo the stitches that you just did, as long as you don't split the strands on the yarn, it should come right out. So we're just going to undo that example real quick. And then we're going to finish that bottom row. That bottom row of double stitches. One of the reasons I like plastic canvas is that it is very forgiving. You make a mistake, it's usually pretty easy to fix it. So now we're back to where we were. I'm going to show you the back of the canvas, see how it is covering up that tail very nicely. And it's also, it's covering up more surface area, the double stitches, than the single stitches. So it is going to allow us to finish projects a little bit faster. But again, it also gives us that texture as well. All right, next hole on the bottom left. Up two, right two. Next hole on bottom left. Pull it through. Up two, right two. I'll pull this out a little bit just to give me a little bit more. Yeah, just don't want it to fall out, because then I'd have to get it back in the needle again. We don't want that. That's too much work. So we've almost got the tail completely covered in the back, and I think we do. Oh, yep, that tail is completely covered in the back. So that's good. And we're about halfway done. Oops. There we go. Sometimes the yarn likes to twist up a little bit. If that happens, just let go of it and let it hang. It'll twist back out for you. Whoops. Another thing I like about plastic canvas is that it's easy to work on projects while doing other things. You can listen to music, you can watch TV, have a sporting event on. Got options there. So we're almost done. We got 2 more stitches left. We got 1 more double. And just how we started with a single, we're going to end with a single down here. And we're going to put that, whoops, put that right there. Pull that through. And the last one right there. So we'll flip it around, and those back stitches look pretty nice. We're going to thread the needle in there underneath of these back stitches, but we want to make sure that we're not catching on any of the strands. Okay? So just right at the end underneath of these stitches. Don't catch any strands. Put the needle through. Pull the excess all the way up. Then we can take our needle off of there. And we're going to cut that yarn right there. Yep. And there we have it. You've now completed your first row of double stitches in plastic canvas. See, that wasn't so hard. Well, folks, thank you for joining me today. Stay tuned, so I'll be able to share more with you in upcoming videos about plastic canvas. And I might even throw in some videos on crochet and knit as well. So keep an eye out. Heck, even consider liking this video and subscribing if you like this content and would like to see more. And if you have any questions, please do drop it in the comment section below. So thank you again for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.